The Grand Theft Auto series has captivated gamers for decades, with its sprawling open worlds and unforgettable characters, from Tommy Vercetti building an empire in Vice City to Niko Bellic chasing the American dream in Liberty City. There's no doubt that the protagonists of GTA have left their mark on the world, some more than others, but after all the heists, betrayals, and all that chaos, have you ever wondered where they are now? What happened to Claude, Tommy, CJ, and the rest of the characters after their stories came to an end? In today's video, we'll be finding out where are the GTA protagonists now, and could we expect to see one or more of these characters appear in Grand Theft Auto 6? Starting at the beginning of the 3D universe, back in 2001, we were introduced to Claude in Grand Theft Auto 3. At the ending of GTA 3, Claude is seen walking off into the distance with Maria after rescuing her. When the screen fades to black, we can hear a single gunshot, and it's unclear of what actually happened, leaving it up to us to interpret however we like. On the 10th anniversary of Grand Theft Auto 3, Rockstar answered fan questions about the game. Some fans asked for a definitive answer to what actually happened once the credits rolled. Did Claude kill Maria? Rockstar answered with, "We're not sure about this. Some think he did and some think he didn't," which still leaves us with some uncertainty. However, a more intriguing question was asked. What became of Claude's fate? Is he dead in the GTA 3 canon, or is he alive? Rockstar confirmed that he certainly isn't dead. What else became of him, we don't know. So with that, we know that Claude is still out there somewhere. Did he continue his life of crime, or did he put that behind him to settle down and start fresh? In GTA 4, Niko can actually wear Claude's outfit, which can be found at Playboy X's apartment, and in GTA Online, we can select Claude as one of our players' parents. Although these are non-canon, it's still pretty cool to explore the idea that Claude exists in the HD universe, but at the end of the day, these are just little Easter eggs and references for us to enjoy. Our next character is Toni Cipriani, who first appeared in GTA 3 working for Salvatore Leone, the Don of the Leone crime family. Later on, Rockstar released GTA Liberty City Stories, which featured Toni Cipriani as the main protagonist. Although Liberty City Stories came out after GTA 3, it's technically set in 1998, making it a prequel to GTA 3, which takes place in 2001. So technically, the last time we saw Toni Cipriani in the timeline was GTA 3. Hopefully that's not too confusing to understand. In GTA 3, Toni Cipriani has become one of the highest ranking members of the Leone crime family, and he's often seen at his family-owned restaurant providing work for Claude. Eventually, Salvatore Leone is assassinated by Claude, leaving the Leone family without a boss. It's unknown who took over the mafia after Salvatore's demise, but it left fans speculating that instead of Salvatore's son, Joey, assuming that role, it would instead go to Toni Cipriani. Joey never showed any ambitions of becoming an established member of the mafia, and because of this, Salvatore claimed that Toni was more of a son than he ever was. So it would only make sense that Toni would be the one to step up and lead the Leone crime family moving forward. In 2002, we were introduced to Tommy Vercetti in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Tommy was a former member of the Ferrelli crime family in Liberty City who was just released from prison after serving a 15-year sentence, and he was sent to Vice City to oversee a drug deal. Ultimately, Tommy was led into an ambush and then spent the rest of the game figuring out who was behind it to get his revenge. Throughout this journey, Tommy acquires various assets and eventually becomes the kingpin of Vice City by the end of it. Now that Tommy Vercetti has taken over Vice City and eliminated all of his competition, what's left for him to do? Tommy was supposed to appear in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but the voice actor Ray Liotta had a falling out with Rockstar while working on Vice City. According to multiple developers, Ray Liotta was incredibly difficult to work with, and it's likely due to the fact that he didn't think the game was going to be successful. In an interview with Sam Houser, he comments on what it was like to work with Liotta, claiming that he would get so fired up and he was into it, but then sometimes it was like he was in some kind of a hole. But after the launch of GTA Vice City, Liotta finally got to see how successful and profitable the game turned out to be, so much so that Liotta said to his agent that next time he should have charged him more money for the role. Sam Houser was unhappy with the comments, so his response to this was, well, how about we just kill off your character? There is no next time. That's how we handle that. This left fans wondering if Tommy Vercetti was actually killed off screen to avoid him reappearing in any future GTA games, and essentially cutting ties with the voice actor. But Rockstar Games never officially killed off Tommy, as he was mentioned years later in GTA San Andreas by one of Tommy's closest friends, Ken Rosenberg, who eventually fell into a drug addiction which began to drift them apart. During the introduction of GTA San Andreas, Ken is seen leaving a rehab center in Fort Carson before making his way to a nearby payphone where he can be heard asking to speak to Tommy Vercetti. The relationship between the two had become so severed that Tony never comes to the phone.
Tommy Vercetti, please. Tell him Ken Rosenberg called. Ken Rosenberg. You haven't heard of me? Who are you? Ken Rosenberg. Rosenberg. Oh, really? You told him I called? Look, I made that ingrate, and now he won't take my calls? Just put him on the phone right now. Hello? Hello?
Later in the game, Tommy is mentioned once again by Ken Rosenberg in the mission The Meat Business. Ken accidentally calls CJ Tommy, which leads to some pretty funny dialogue.
This is so exciting, Tommy. It's like old times. Hold a fucking Tommy.
This implies that Tommy is still alive in the events of GTA San Andreas, which takes place roughly 6 years after Vice City. But going beyond the two games, in 2002, we got a promotional website for the launch of GTA Vice City called KentPaul.com, which mentions Tommy Vercetti. Scrolling to the bottom of one of the posts made by Kent Paul, it reads, "See Tommy, I didn't mention your name. Nowhere. Maybe you won't get us killed now, okay?" This seemingly confirms that Tommy Vercetti is still alive as of 2002 and that he's still the kingpin of Vice City. But that's as far as the story goes, leaving the rest up to our imagination. Victor Vance is the protagonist of GTA Vice City Stories, which serves as a prequel to GTA Vice City. Vic Vance had an unfortunate and tragic ending to his story. Forced into a life of crime, he and his brother Lance begin to build a criminal empire in Vice City. And despite his desire to escape the criminal underworld and secure a better future, his life tragically ends when he's killed in a drug deal gone wrong that takes place during the opening mission of GTA Vice City. Niko Bellic was introduced to us in Grand Theft Auto 4, and he is one of, if not the best protagonist in the entire GTA series. After spending the last 7 months on a cargo ship, he arrives in Liberty City hoping to chase the American dream and reuniting with his cousin Roman, who promised him a life of luxury. However, it didn't take long for Niko to find out that Roman was exaggerating his success, and instead he was living a far less glamorous life. Niko becomes entangled in a web of violence, betrayal, and revenge, working for various crime lords, even taking part in a heist on the Bank of Liberty City while hunting a former comrade who betrayed his military unit. In the end, Niko chooses revenge over a business deal, but that came at the cost of losing his girlfriend Kate McCreary. At the end of the story, there's not much known about what's next for Niko. That is until Grand Theft Auto 5, where we get some hints as to what he could be up to. Located just outside the Gran Sonora Desert, there's a house that has a wanted poster sitting on the table at the front. On the poster, we can see that the wanted man is Niko Bellic. Niko is wanted for a shooting that takes place at a nightclub in Hove Beach, which is in reference to the mission Master in the Molotov. Then during the setup for the jewel store heist, Lester tells Michael that there's an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he's gone quiet.
Oh, we're gonna need a crew. I can round up some of the old guys.
There are no old guys. Moses, ironically, he found Jesus. All those Irish crazies, they mostly just disappeared. That crew from the south, they all went down. There was an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he went quiet.
Lester is obviously referencing Niko, who we know is Eastern European, but like he said, he's gone quiet, implying that Niko is no longer involved in the criminal lifestyle. Later on during the Polito score, there's a conversation that takes place between Packy McCreary and the other crew members, where they discuss their past scores. Packy mentions his biggest and most successful job, the Bank of Liberty City. He then goes on to talk about the unfortunate fate of his past crew members, leading him to mention Niko Bellic. He goes on to say that Niko is probably dead. Now, some might think that this is proof that Niko is actually dead, but I think that Packy says this because he just hasn't heard from Niko in a very long time, and he's assuming that he probably ended up like the rest of the crew.
You, generic goon! What was your first bank score?
You know what? My first job ain't that interesting. I think I was spotting for my brother's scores in junior high. What is interesting is my biggest job, the Bank of Liberty City.
Ah, shit, yeah. I heard you were part of the crew that took that down.
I ran the crew. It was me, my brother Derek, God rest his soul, my pal Michael, God rest his soul, and another boy, Niko, who's probably dead too.
They're all dead. Must have been jinxed, huh?
All I know is I live to tell the tale.
And that leaves us with our last piece of information that we have, and it can actually be found in Michael's house. Jimmy DeSanta can at some point be seen on his laptop browsing the internet, but if you take a closer look, you'll see that he's actually on Niko Bellic's Life Invader profile. Now, the interesting thing is Niko wished Roman a happy birthday 40 minutes ago relative to the game's time, which is set in 2013. This confirms that both Roman and Niko are still alive as of 2013. Another detail that we can find on his Life Invader profile profile is that he works as a driver at the Bellic cab service in Broker. So that means that Niko has finally stepped away from the life of crime to live a more legitimate lifestyle in Liberty City. Johnny Klebitz was the protagonist in GTA 4's The Lost and Damned, and he was met with a very unfortunate ending. By the end of the game, Johnny was the president of the Lost MC and recognized as this huge, tough guy, but by the time Grand Theft Auto 5 rolled around, Johnny Klebitz was the complete opposite. So what actually happened to Johnny in between those two games? Throughout the story, we can see that Johnny is strongly against drug use after seeing what it has done to his girlfriend Ashley. Unable to convince her to stop, Johnny realizes that she's just no good for him and the two parted ways. But that didn't last long, because prior to the events of GTA 5, Johnny and Ashley rekindled their relationship and the pair relocated to Blaine County along with some of the other Lost MC members to begin a new chapter. The gang got heavily involved in dealing drugs and arms trading, and they even got affiliated with Trevor Philips. Eventually, Johnny could no longer fight Ashley's drug addiction and fell into it with her. Because of this, members of the Lost MC demoted Johnny to vice president. To further add to Johnny's downfall, his girlfriend Ashley would often cheat on him with Trevor, which would lead to the confrontation that we eventually see in GTA 5. Johnny finally decides to confront Trevor about Ashley, and unfortunately for him, Trevor was not in the mood to deal with Johnny, so he smashes him over the head with a beer bottle before repeatedly stomping his head in, killing him in the process. Now, you might think that this is the last time we see Johnny Klebitz, but if you take a look inside of Trevor's vehicle, then you'll actually see a piece of Johnny's brain, which serves as a reminder to not get on Trevor's bad side. Luis Lopez features as the protagonist in GTA 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony. Throughout the story, Luis works as a bodyguard for Tony Prince and was even at the Bank of Liberty City when Niko and the crew were robbing it. So what's left for Luis after the events of The Ballad of Gay Tony? Well, it's suggested that Tony finally left Liberty City because he's no longer in Luis's phone, making him unreachable. It's also suggested that he sold his nightclubs to Yusuf Amir, who had plans to franchise them all across the world. This would presumably leave Luis in charge of managing his nightclubs in Liberty City, which makes sense as Luis previously told Tony that he can't leave Liberty City because he still has family there.
We'll leave town and start all over. New clubs, someplace else. If I can do it, you can too.
Oh yeah, it ain't like that for me, Tom. I still got my family here in LC. Maybe you turn your back on where you was from when you was a kid, but that ain't something I can really do. The Heights, it's my home, man. Always will be. Nothing's worth shit if I can't go back there.
Fast forward to the events of GTA Online with the After Hours DLC, we can occasionally see a framed picture of Luis on Tony's desk, implying that the two still remain close friends. After all, the pair were like father and son. Trevor Philips is one of 3 protagonists in GTA 5, but you already know that. Trevor makes an appearance in the GTA Online Series A funding heist. However, what most people don't know is that the heist DLC actually takes place before the events of story mode. Now, during the finale, Trevor gets ambushed and he makes a run for it, but in his hand we can actually see an Infinite Rage statue. After he got away, he's seen leaning up against a tree with the Infinite Rage statue by his side. Then, during the story mode mission Nervous Ron, Trevor's trailer has been trashed by the Lost MC. Everything in his trailer has been destroyed, including his beloved Infinite Rage statue. Later down the line, during the Smuggler's Run DLC, which takes place after the story mode, Ron mentions that Trevor has abandoned him, even suggesting that he may have become a lifestyle coach.
That bastard Trev, my best friend, oh, he's supposed to protect me forever, then he goes all Vinewood on me. He's too important for Ron now. He's a guru. He's a lifestyle coach. I don't know what he is. I bet he's got abs. Oh, I am so alone.
Ron isn't exactly sure where Trevor is now, but we do know that he is still alive because later on during the Contract DLC, the receptionist mentions that a crazy dude came through earlier dressed like a hobo, claiming that he and Franklin used to work together. He even goes on to say that he had to stop him from shitting on the desk, which is something that Trevor would most definitely do.
Hey, this crazy dude swung by earlier, dressed like a hobo, like really on edge. He swore him and Mr. Clinton used to work together. Got really angry when I said he wasn't available. I had to stop him from shitting on the desk. Seriously. If you get a minute with Mr. Clinton, would you let him know?
By the time the Drug Wars DLC rolls around, Trevor has completely disappeared. His old meth lab in Sandy Shores has now been taken over by the Fooligans. There's even a phone call between Ron and the online character where he says Trevor has taken off.
Hey, friend. It's been a while. I know you're busy, but just in case you're looking for me, I gotta go tell some folks what's what. Yeah, I've been waiting for something like this to happen since Trevor took off. The
vultures showing up in Sandy Shores looking for scraps. Don't worry though, Ron's got it all under control. Unless, you know, you wanted to help, backup would be nice. They've taken over Trevor's old place at Ace Liquor.
Trevor has either fled Sandy Shores and possibly moved to Los Santos. After all, Ron did say he's gone all Vinewood on him, or perhaps Trevor has fled the state entirely, leaving it up to us to speculate where he could have disappeared to. I hope that we get to see Trevor make an appearance in Grand Theft Auto 6 as a side character, because that would be really cool. Previously, things didn't look so good between Rockstar and Stephen Ogg, but as of recently, it seems like Stephen has been embracing the character once again, showing that he still has love for the character. But let me know down in the comments below, which character would you like to see make an appearance in GTA 6? Franklin Clinton is an easy one, as the Contract DLC further expanded on his story rather than leaving it up to us to speculate like some of the other protagonists. During the Contract DLC, we see that Franklin has been able to make a name for himself as co-founder of F. Clinton & Partner, a celebrity solutions agency taking on clients as big as Dr. Dre. Franklin ended up with one of the happiest endings out of all the protagonists. He still has Chop by his side, and he's still really close with Lamar. To top that off, he even got back with Tanisha, and the pair got married. We know that based on the sign out the front of their home reading the Clintons, and they even started their own family, indicated by the children's play equipment and the toys in the backyard. Moving on to our final protagonist, we have Michael DeSanta. Michael is yet to make an appearance in GTA Online, which makes us wonder if Rockstar are planning a Michael DLC as one of the final updates for GTA Online. And it would make a lot of sense because Ned Luke, the actor that plays Michael, is still embracing the role of Michael and has a very strong presence within the GTA community. We all know that Michael DeSanta still lives in Los Santos, working at Richard Majestic Studios, which we know through a piece of dialogue that takes place during the Contract DLC. Franklin and the online player end up driving through the movie studio, and Franklin says that he actually knows one of the producers that work around here, indicating that Michael is still alive and well.
Man, shit, I know one of the producers around here. I hope his ass ain't at work today.
Hopefully before GTA 6 launches, we get some sort of DLC featuring Michael, as that would be a perfect DLC to end GTA Online with. Unless of course Rockstar are saving Michael's next appearance for Grand Theft Auto 6. After all, it wouldn't be that far-fetched considering Michael's line of work would have him traveling all across the world for his movies. But that's just about all for today. If you did enjoy the video, then please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.